and he had Neil Canton, my co-producer, and I look at the footage, because I never would look at cut footage until there was an entire cut of the movie, so I knew there was a problem. Bob was asking me to come in the cutting room.
Oh boy, yeah.
Or in the screening room, and then we all said, "Oh shit!" And, we had Spielberg and Kathy Kennedy, Frank Marshall, our executive producers, look at it, and they said, "Oh shit!" And we decided, and Steven, in his infinite wisdom, said, "Look, you can't go tell Sheinberg that you've made a mistake here without having a way to solve the mistake."
But I mean, was he acting clowny, or was he not acting clowny enough?
Eric he's sort of the method school of acting.
So he went into the future to prepare for his role.
Well, he had to wear the wardrobe home. He just didn't have the sense of comedy that the character needed.
Right.
Now, I mean, I know it's been asked 1,000 times, but I mean, will that footage ever come out and be available to the public? Maybe on a future Blu-ray release?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. It'll be later rather than sooner, because I say we don't want the footage to embarrass Eric.
That good, huh?
Well, it's just, people are going to talk. Regardless of what anybody says. Some people say, "Well, it wasn't that bad," and some people, "Oh my God, how stupid were those idiots for putting that kind of movie?" But I say anything that's going to make somebody else look bad
is hysterical.
When we're all in our 60s or 70s, then maybe we'll say, "Okay, yeah, now it's so far."
Just put it on YouTube already. Just throw it up there.
You guys kind of got stuck in a little bit of a problem with the end of Back to the Future 1. Everybody knows the whole thing with Marty. It's your
Almost
kids.
Everybody.
And you had to resolve that. Had you wished you known beforehand that you would have had a sequel and didn't end it that way?
Well, the thing is, if we knew we were going to do a sequel, we would have never had Jennifer get in the car.
Right.
Because that was the big problem.
Right.
What are we going to do with Jennifer? I mean,
It should have just stopped where he went like, "Hey, let's drop this bitch off, Marty," and then they just land back, drop her off at the house, and take off again.
Or maybe after they take
what we did, we had her be unconscious for the whole sequel.
Yeah, she was completely unconscious for the whole movie.
Did you think it was really weird though, like having Jack Warden play two roles?
Hey, you're talking about used cars now, Jimmy. We're talking about Back to
the movie, actually.
What's that?
Used cars. The reason that we got Jack Warden, when we wrote the script, we didn't think of those brothers as being played by the same actor. And actually, at one point, Kevin Conway was gonna play Roy Fuchs, and then he decided not to. So we went after Jack Warden, and Warden passed on it. And then I forget who it was that said, there's three things that an actor likes to do. They like to act drunk, they like to play dead, and they like to play more than one role in the same movie. And in used cars, if you make the two brothers be played by the same guy, he'll get to play dead and play two parts.
And it's interesting that you use that same tactic in the Back to the Future series when Michael J. Fox is playing obviously his most of his immediate family.
Yes.
Well, look, that was just a slam dunk obvious thing to do. You got to do that.
I did have a little bit of an issue with 3, though, it being that his forefathers and mother looked the same. Now, that would be a coincidence because their children would have had to have been married off to another family. So why would his wife look just like...
Now, okay, there's an answer to that one.
All right.
Because we thought about that. I mean, the practical answer was Leah Thompson, one of the greatest people in the world to work with. And Bob and I said, we can't make another Back to the Future movie without putting Leah in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number one. We just liked working with her. She's just a pleasure to work with. And then we said, okay, well, it's always said that men are attracted to women that remind them of their mothers.
Wow. Throughout the generations.
Yes.
There you go.
All right, well, whatever works.
So you're basically saying that she was available and Frank McRae couldn't do it, because he was doing a project after used cars. Now, Frank McRae,
the interview.
one of the funniest guys ever. Frank, big black guy in 48 Hours. He was the Eddie Murphy's boss, the cop.
Yeah.
And that's whatever happened to Frank McRae. Do you know?
Boy, I've lost touch with Frank. I don't know what happened to Frank. I used to talk to him, fairly regularly, but I don't know, about 10 or 15 years ago, I kind of, I have no idea.
He's showing a little old guy the car. He's like, it's all big and comfy and roomy, and you got to look in. The guy's like, I don't want to look inside. He's like, oh, just look inside. The guy's like, I don't want to look inside. So he grabs the little old man and just shoves him in the car. Oh, get in the motherfucking car. It's fucking hilarious. But just get in the motherfucking car. Because he's a mechanic. He's not a car salesman yet. Oh, just get in the motherfucking car.
That was funny.
The greatest thing that Frank ad-libbed in Back to the Future, because that thing was scripted, because it was a payoff. The setup to the gag was Kurt Russell saying, no matter what you do, make sure you get the customer in the car.
Yeah.
Nothing sells the car better than the car itself. Get the customer in the car. So Frank was going to get this guy in the car. But
speaking of cars, how did you decide on the DeLorean for Back to the Future as the time vehicle?
Very good, Danny.
that was just, oh man, Zemeckis came up with that. He said, what if we use a DeLorean? The original is if you guys are total Back to the Future, you know,
it was a refrigerator. Hello,
it was a time chamber that was like an old refrigerator.
That's just silly.
And then, yeah, it was. It had to be carted around on the back of a truck.
Yeah, and didn't the original script call for the refrigerator time device to be kind of dragged by a nuclear test facility, and that's what the reaction was to initiate time travel? That's crazy.
Well, Spielberg ripped it off in Indiana Jones 4.
Oh, right, yeah.
That whole thing at the beginning where Harrison Ford is running around in the fake town. I mean, that was all in the script of Back to the Future.
And he goes in the refrigerator and lives through a nuclear explosion by being in a refrigerator.
Yeah, Spielberg ripped us off.
Oh,
motherfucker!
Damn him.
So basically, like, because the weird things that translate, like we're all Laverne and Shirley fans, and when you decided to put Lenny and Squiggy in used cars as the cameramen. How great! My favorite line is probably when they're filming the hijacked commercial, and that woman, by the way, whose shirt gets ripped off and her tits pop out. Is that Betty Thomas from Hill Street Blues?
No. The girl in the commercial was Cheryl Rickson. She was the Penthouse 10 of the year.
Oh, okay.
But Betty Thomas is one of the girls. There's the strip promotion where 6 girls are taking off their clothes on top of the cars. And one of them is Betty Thomas.
Oh, that's okay. I'm mixing up the scenes. But one of my favorite things is when that girl is getting her shirt ripped off, like the hood pops up, and her shirt gets ripped off, and they're on live TV. And he goes, and like, I think it's Squeaky goes, oh, Jesus, she's caught on the hood ornament. And he goes, oh, don't you hate women?
No. He says, all those years of film school paid off.
And when does he say, oh, don't you hate women?
He doesn't say that.
What are you talking about, Jimmy?
Please don't tell me he doesn't say that.
You're ruining everything.
Jimmy.
I want to talk about a young actor called Crispin Glover.
I think you're wrong, though, Bob.
What happened now?
They're putting that Letterman stuff back on after Joaquin Phoenix's.
Yeah, I know his weird appearance on that show.
Oh, man.
But he didn't want to do the second one, I guess, huh?
No. Crispin. There's some actors that think that popcorn movies are just. They're just awful things, and they're true artistes,
Mm-hmm.
And Crispin was in that mode, and I don't even remember him whether he even saw the movie.
Really?
Finally finished. He certainly didn't show up at the cast and crew screening.
And he actually he sued, didn't he? The production company or the movie company?
Yeah, he sued. We offered him before we even wrote the sequel. Bob and I said, okay, look. Before we can even agree to a sequel, we need to know that we got Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So we called those guys up and we said, if we do a sequel, will you guys be in? I said, absolutely. You guys are doing it? We're in. So we made the deals with those guys first. Then Bob and I said, okay, well, let's see how many other members of the cast will want to come back for another one. So Leah Thompson said, I'm in, and Tom Wilson played Biff, said, I'm in, and Crispin said, well. And his agent called and said, well, Crispin wants Michael J. Fox's deal, which was $2 million, and he wants script approval. And I said to the agent, "Look," I said, "come on, I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. That's crazy."